Greetings, everyone. This is Nomad, your guide through the retro Wildlands. I'm joined by Dee Dee, our canine expedition leader who sits proudly atop my lap. Want to say hi to everyone, boy? No, just want to lie down on my lap? Aw, did you good boy. Thank you all very much for joining me today. I wanted to take a few minutes to share some updates about the podcast and where things are headed for the rest of this year. After giving it a lot of thought, I have decided that the Retro Wildlands is going to take a soft break for the next couple of months. The show will return in January 2026, refreshed and ready for some more adventures into the gaming Wildlands as we talk about and experience the video games that we love. So, what's going on? Where did this come from all of a sudden? Lately, I've been finding it harder to focus on the podcast the way I want to, and it's starting to wear on me. My day job has been keeping me busy. I often work long days, and with the end of the year approaching, I find myself getting sucked into many more time-consuming projects. And then between that, taking care of things at home, spending time with the family, nurturing the relationship with my wife, and trying to fit in all of my other non-gaming hobbies, I realize that I just don't have the balance that I need right now in my life. As we move into the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that good stuff, I want to make sure that I'm being present at home instead of constantly pushing towards the next episode or working on the next thing that I want to churn out in service of the show and this brand that I've been trying to build up over the last few years. I don't know if I'd call it burnout or just being overloaded, which is probably a me problem if that's the case, but I can feel that something is just off. I'm hoping that taking this time away will give me the chance to step back, breathe, and figure that out. One of the most valuable things that I've learned over the years is the ability to detach and take a step back. It's very easy to find yourself in the weeds all the time, and when that happens, you can often lose sight of the bigger picture and what your goals truly are. Detaching only works, though, when you make an effort to do it, and I've been in the weeds in many aspects of my life so long over the past year that I need to force myself to take stock. And my hope is this time away is going to help me do that. Now, this is not going to be a total radio silence kind of break. I will still be active on social media, skulking around Discord, sharing updates, posting photos, chatting with everyone, and doing what I can to keep the community alive. And when I have the time or feel inspired, I might post the occasional mini written review of some of the games that I've been playing or have recently played over on our website. So that said, if you want to make sure you're following us on our social media pages if you're not already, or you want to visit the Retro Wildlands website, you can do that and you'll still see some activity over there. I really don't like the idea of having to have you all wait even longer for episodes, even though it takes me forever to get episodes out to you all as it is, but rest assured that I'm not going anywhere. I just need a minute. I also want to use this downtime to plan a thoughtful strategy for 2026. There are a lot of ideas and side projects that I've been wanting to explore, things like potential new formats, collaborations, maybe expanding what the Wildlands can be. But with my current pace, there just hasn't been enough time to do any of that right. I also want to keep expanding and leveraging the new website, and I have some really cool ideas on how to build functionality that'll allow members of the community to interact with episodes, and some of my other blog posts on the site too. I know there's a decent amount of you out there that interact on our social media pages, and thank you very much for all of your interactivity, by the way. But I really want to make our website, theretrowildlands.com, a sort of one-stop shop for content and interactivity. It's just been extremely hard to devote time to researching how to potentially build that out and implement it. Another thing I also want to work out is a schedule of content for the majority of the 2026 year. When we started 2025, I had high hopes for how I wanted to structure content this year, but I allowed myself to just wing it, and by doing so, I set no clear goals for myself or put any sort of accountability in place, and as a result, episode output was at an all-time low this past year. While I'm very happy with the episodes that did get put together, I was entirely unfocused for the majority of this past year. I want to get some of the structure that I keep talking about back into the content that I produce. So, all of that said, I'm going to spend part of this hiatus laying that groundwork and setting myself up for a stronger, more sustainable future. Oh, and that's another thing I want to mention too. This is for any fellow podcasters out there or fellow content creators who happen to be listening. If you're interested in having me on as a guest on your show or having me collaborate on a project, I am still absolutely open to that. I have been so lucky to be part of so many collaborative projects this year. I've written several blog posts for the SuperPod Network. I've been a guest on over a dozen podcast episodes across multiple shows this year, and so much more. Being part of other projects and chatting with other creators is something that I absolutely love, and that will not change at all, even though I am stepping back from my own projects. I am truly grateful for these opportunities, and I'll continue to be part of that side of the community while our expeditions into the retro wildlands pause for a time. And all of that being said, let me make this abundantly clear. The time that I chose to commit to these projects is in no way the reason, or even part of the reason, I have decided to step away from my own projects for a bit. I don't want anyone thinking that they are the reason that I've had a hard time balancing things, especially because this particular announcement is coming off the heels of a couple collaborative episodes on podcasts that I just did, and I don't want those individuals thinking that they're to blame for me having to take a step back. It is not that at all. If you are listening, and you are one of the individuals that I collaborated with this year, please know that being part of your projects honestly invigorated me and filled me with a joy that lifted me up, and for that I am eternally grateful. I still feel humbled and incredibly lucky to be part of your visions. So, that is where things stand. This isn't goodbye, it's just time to let the fire die down at the campsite for a little bit as the holidays approach. The Retro Wildlands will return in January 2026, and when it does, I'm hoping to come back with fresh energy, new ideas, and maybe even a few surprises. As we approach that time too, be sure to keep an eye on our website, on our social media pages, and I'll announce when things are going to be coming back to normal, and hopefully share a schedule of events that I will have planned for everyone in this coming year. I'm genuinely excited, and I'm already doing some of the pre-planning for next year, and it's been very invigorating, so this is going to be great. The Retro Wildlands has always been a passion project for me, something that I create because I genuinely love talking about games and sharing that love with all of you in this fun and creative way that I've devised. It's not something I do for money or obligation, I do it because it brings me joy and I genuinely love doing this. And above all else, I want to make sure that it stays that way. I want to continue to build this thing that I've created, and I know it might not be much of a legacy to leave behind when I leave this place one day, but my love for games and my passion for them is the one thing that persists above everything else, and I want to celebrate that in this amazing way. Thank you all very much for listening, for sharing your support, and for being part of all of this. I never imagined the Retro Wildlands would be what it is, and really, it's all thanks to you. Now, go forth, my friends, and enjoy your holidays, play some great games, and take care of yourselves and the people that you love. And that goes for your pets, too. Give back some of that unconditional love that I know that they give you. I'll see you all again very soon, and I look forward to our next trip together into the gaming wildlands as we set out on another awesome adventure. Until then, my friends, my name is Nomad, and you can find me roaming the Retro Wildlands.